as we head back into the late December holidays, into the new year, and get back together with our friends, with our family, and with others in the community, and continue to navigate this COVID-19 pandemic that we are still in, heading into approaching year number 3 of this. It can be tough to remain interacting with others in a way that's respectful and polite of everybody's situation, knowing that everybody is going to have a different opinion and a different state of mind on where we currently are at in our society. To help us navigate all those difficult details, we are joined now once again by the Etiquette Guru Stacy Amey on the MegaCast. Stacy, thank you for being with us.
Thank you. You look handsome today, all dressed up.
Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Welcome.
So for right now, there's a lot of debate about vaccination versus not getting vaccinated. Everybody has their own opinions. Some have been, some have not been and are considering. Some have not been and are refusing to do so. And yet here we are, all still needing to interact with our friends and with our families at this time of the year. So what do you suggest if you don't want to be around people that are unvaccinated or are refusing to take those precautions that are suggested to prevent the spread of COVID-19? How do you politely talk about this or address that situation so that it doesn't turn into a shouting match or a fight when you're with your family or when you're with your friends?
I think just appreciating, like you said, that everyone has their own opinions, be respectful of people and what they are choosing, but also keep yourself safe. If you maybe are having a party and you're having a mix of guests, some are elderly, maybe some can't get vaccinated, there's I think a few different options or ways to approach it. Having a conversation with an unvaxxed person, if you know that, if you're having a party in your home, I feel it's appropriate to ask people's status. But having said that, you could kindly ask an individual to get a COVID test before coming to your home, or once in your home, maybe everybody is wearing masks, social distancing, we all know the drill now. I guess a last option would be don't have a party this year and avoid the whole thing.
And so, I mean, we can prepare all we want for these kinds of situations, but ultimately, for some, they're going to have these kind of just spring onto them. If they're holding a party and someone says, sure, I'll play along, I'll follow these rules that you have in place or these suggestions that you have in place to make sure that I'm following the rules of your home or keeping everybody that's going to be a guest at your party safe and comfortable, then in some cases, that's going to be on set, in process, and not something that's discussed before. When things do get, let's say, chippy or snippy in these kinds of situations, where do you suggest people begin to, A, de-escalate that situation and that conversation, but also have a productive and polite dialogue about these issues?
Take that person aside, privately talk to them. You don't need to call people out in front of everybody. And, likely there'll be alcohol involved if it's a party, so that's only going to continue to escalate things. So taking someone aside and doing it privately, that might work. And if they are really out of control, I guess, you have to remove them from the situation. It's people's lives at stake. So, you really can't, there's not a whole lot of wiggle room there.
We're joined by Stacy Amey, the Etiquette Guru, on the MegaCast today. And so in a similar situation, people go into family gatherings at this time of the year. They do certainly during the Thanksgiving holiday and at the end of the year holidays as well. And while many will go in regardless of their political views, not wanting to talk about anything political, aiming for that not to happen, oftentimes at some point the talk turns to politics and things can get a little bit awry there. What do you say people should do in a situation where the conversation gets political and they want to draw away from it, either get themselves out of the conversation or turn that conversation back to something else without being disruptive of somebody else that may be leading that talk?
I think, just saying, maybe a cute little, oh, I have a funny story, and trying to drive the conversation in another direction. If you are wanting to take it on, I guess, maybe if people can do it in an adult way and not get to the, very heated stage, and maybe setting some guidelines, no foul language, no raising your voice. If we want to just have a mature discussion, that's fine. It's not usually how it goes. I know everybody knows that, but, nonchalantly changing the subject, I will tell you, the person who's going to get hurt the most is the host or hostess. They have spent, hours, possibly days preparing for this party. And if a big argument breaks out, they're the one who is going to suffer. So people should be keeping that in mind, to be respectful of where they are. And, this conversation can happen another time. It's a conversation where it's one person trying to drive home their points and opinion to somebody who's never going to really receive it anyways. So it's kind of silliness. This literally happened to me. And it was very uncomfortable for myself and the rest of the people at my party. And, I drank a pitcher of mimosas because I didn't know what else to do. You can't stop people once they start. It's almost like trying to break up a fist fight. So maybe, again, if you can curtail it and take the two people aside and say, look, this can be done another time. You can always try that, because it's not appropriate, and it's rude to ruin that person's party.
We're joined by Stacy Amey. She is the etiquette guru with us today on the MegaCast as we head into the holidays, holiday get-togethers amongst families, amongst friends, coworkers, and so on. And in every group dynamic, whether it be your family, your colleagues, a group of friends, it's pretty commonplace for there to be rifts between individuals in the group, but generally that group is getting along. For those that are heading into these holiday gatherings at work, at home, wherever the case may be, and they have those relationships in their group, in the group that they're with, where there are certain people that clash, but you want to generally keep the peace. What advice do you have for people that are in a situation like that to help navigate that situation for everybody, keep the peace, and not take away from the social aspects of those gatherings while trying to de-escalate the rift that may be between these two individuals or more?
Stay friendly, stay positive, put your differences aside, or, set up a time. And if you're trying to work something out with someone, a party isn't the time to do that. There's always going to be that person or those people that you don't necessarily get along with or even like. But I think there's always something redeeming, some quality about someone that you can find, and focus on that while you're talking to them. And if they turn negative, ignore it. Try to pull them into any kind of games or activities as best you can. And maybe music in the background. If there's some kind of silent awkwardness happening, that kind of can break things up too. But just stay positive yourself, and, you can always laugh it off and walk away.
We're joined by Stacy Amey, the etiquette guru, joining us today on the MegaCast. You can learn more information about her services, including children and teen classes, etiquette classes, Murray Magazine, and more on her website at theetiquetteguru.com. That is theetiquetteguru.com, or by calling 866-273-0728. Again, 866-273-0728. And so during the holidays, there are, of course, familial holiday gatherings. There are get-togethers with groups of friends. And then there's the office holiday parties that a lot of people are going to, and that's a time where you are in a work environment still, but it's a much more relaxed work environment. It's supposed to be more of a social environment in the workplace. That being said, it creates a difficult scenario, or a tricky scenario is probably a better word for it, where you're trying to maintain having a relaxed social environment, but keeping things professional, because these are often happening in the office. What suggestions do you have for individuals going to a holiday party or get together at their workplace, and for those that may be attending one on behalf of somebody else or with somebody else?
Probably the most important one and easiest one is watch your alcohol intake. That is going to be the source of, many verbal mistakes and things like that that you maybe otherwise wouldn't do. So that's my biggest suggestion. Just don't get drunk. That's not the place to do it. You still have to maintain some level of professionalism amongst your work people. So that's my greatest advice there.
We're joined by
have fun, but don't get drunk.
Yes, yeah, have fun, but remember, again, as I said before, you're still in your professional environment, so just keep that in mind as you are attending these holiday parties. We're joined by Stacy Amey, the Etiquette Guru, on the MegaCast today. You can learn more information about the Etiquette Guru, about all of our Etiquette 101 classes for children 6 to 12 years old, and teen etiquette for 13 to 19-year-olds, as well as other classes, both virtual and in person, on her website at theetiquetteguru.com, or by visiting a number of different social media for the Etiquette Guru as well, including their Facebook page at facebook.com/theetiquettegurumi, their Twitter page _etiquetteguru, and on Instagram, instagram.com/etiquetteguru. Stacy, just a few more minutes with you before we'll say goodbye today. Any lasting advice for people as we continue to navigate the pandemic as we head into a new year?
Yes, my biggest hope for people this holiday season, I know it's still a very stressful situation. I hope people can turn all of their media off for a period of time and just take a break. Enjoy your family, enjoy just things, daydreaming, using your own imagination, and not being constantly bothered by your phone and your computer. Just, really just take a break and let your brain rest for a few minutes. And I would like to also interject that I am doing classes for adults too. And that is a possibility too, to take a break and do something new. Or I have etiquette family style. Do something different with your family, and that would be fun too. In the corporate dining classes, if you're doing something with your professional friends, that's a fun option too, and ultimately will help your business succeed. So just my biggest takeaway for everybody this year is to just take a break and enjoy your family or your activities that you enjoy aside from any kind of electronics.
Stacy, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for the advice, and have a nice holiday.
Thank you, you too.